Hello all, welcome back to DataSurface. In this video, we are diving into some of the most exciting new features introduced in Oracle 23a, from simplified SQL syntax to AI-powered data handling. If you are a developer who spends time inside SQL Developer, this update is packed with the features that make your workflow faster, cleaner, and whole lot smarter. If you are watching this video for the first time, I would recommend do check out the existing videos in this playlist. Those will set the foundation for this particular video. Also, in our previous video, we explored the Oracle 23a architecture, understanding how this new generation database is built for AI-driven workloads. Let's jump right in. Let's start with something simple but super handy. In Oracle 23a, you can now run select statement without a from class. In earlier versions, if you want to test any sample calculation or sample result, we will go with the dual table, right? Most of the people are very much familiar with the dual table. So now Oracle 23a makes our life more simple. So now without dual or without from class, you can simply execute the select statement. Right? The first feature is select without from class. It's a small change, but it makes quick testing and debugging inside SQL Developer much more natural. The next feature is create or drop table if not exists. So it's a real time saver for developers who create and drop tables frequently. In previous versions, if a table already exists, your script would throw in an error, right? But Oracle 23a fixes that with a conditional DDL. So we can now safely create or drop objects using conditional DDL. Let's see how it will work. See, now the employee demo is created. So now, for example, if you are just executing again, if the table is not exist, then only it will successfully execute the create table statement. It will overwritten. But if the table is already present, it won't do anything. So now I'm executing again this particular statement. Since the table is already present, even though it will show the table employee is successfully created, but if you go to the table and check, you can still see the existing data. Now also if you execute the drop table, if it exists, table is dropped. Now if you select this, it will throw an error, right? Ideally. Now if you are executing the drop table exists again, the conditional DDL, so it will show successful message, but it won't throw any errors. So basically, whenever you are dealing with DDLs like creating or dropping a table which is already exist once, it won't throw the table is already existing error in Oracle 23a if you are using the conditional DDL. So no more worrying about object existence. It's a clean, predictable, and works great for repeatable deployment scripts or test environments. Right? So we have covered two. One is set clause without from, other one is create a drop table if not exist. I hope these two are clear. Now let's move on to the next one. Insert into multiple records at once. This one, developer favorite. Oracle 23a finally lets you insert multiple rows in single insert statement. Instead of writing several inserts, you can now do with a single insert, you can insert multiple values. Right? So now the table is created. So now you can see 4 rows got inserted. Now we can select the table and see 4 rows got inserted. You can see here only one insert, but you can insert multiple values with a single insert. So it's a cleaner, faster, and much easier when you are setting up test data or populating lookup tables. So the feature is a small but highly practical win for developers. The next one is group by an alias and position number. So this is introduced for the group by class. The next feature is all about making SQL syntax smarter. In Oracle 23a, you can now use column aliases directly inside the group by or having class, and even refer to the columns by their position number. This is an example. So now I have a sales demo. So now if you see here, I'm just executing that by giving the alias names in having a group by. Also, I'm giving the column position in order by. It makes our life more easy in Oracle 23a. Now let's move on to the next picture. So let's talk about security and access control. So Oracle 23AI introduced schema level privileges, making it much easier to grant or revoke permissions. Instead of granting privileges object by object, you can now do grant all privileges on particular schema to the particular user, right? So this particular single command will give the user access to everything inside that particular schema, tables, views, and procedures, right? So let's see practically. So since this is access related stuff, we need to log in with as admin and we need to execute this. Well, let's log in with SQL star plus to log in with admin. I'll be logging in as a admin, my username and password, and I'm giving my pluggable databases as is DBA. So now I'll be creating a new user. I have already user is a Scott is there. So now I am newly creating another user as a dev user. So I'm going to provide all privileges on particular schema Scott to the dev users, right? Now grant is successed to the dev user. Now let's connect with the dev user. So now I have connected the dev user. So now try to access the sample data set from the Scott schema. See, now I'm able to access the employee table. Also, I can able to access it department table as well. With a single command, I can access everything which is available under this particular Scott schema, right? So it is a kind of a huge improvement for developers working in modular environments or DevOps pipelines. Let's move on to the next feature, JSON relaxed syntax or relational duality view. Oracle 23AI takes JSON integration to the next level. You can now use relaxed JSON syntax, meaning you don't need to stick double quotes everywhere, and Oracle will automatically infer the data types. Let's see an example, practical example. We'll get more clarity. So I'm just creating a sample table with a JSON data type. I'm inserting the 2 records into that particular table. So now here, ideally, when we are talking about the JSON data, it strictly should be there in the double quotes. But in 23AI, it is a kind of an enhancement come up. You no need to give everywhere all the time the double quotes. Still the Oracle will taking care, right? So now, in the first record, I have given with the following the double quote standards. Now the second record, I just ignore the double quotes. I'm trying to access the data. Let's see. See, now I'm able to access the data. So, irrespective of double quote standards, ideally when we are inserting the JSON data, we should follow with the double quotes. All the key values should be enclosed with the double quotes. But in Oracle 23AI, even though you are not giving the double quotes, Oracle will take care. That is called as a relaxed syntax. We were able to successfully access the data, right? So just now we have seen the JSON data, how we can access it by using the proper dot notation, right? Now let's see another example where you can see the graph like query using JSON view, right? I'm creating a sample table. I'm inserting the sample data. So here the employee skill I have mentioned as a JSON, the remaining is the number and varchar. So I inserted 2 records and these are the skills. Since I have mentioned JSON, you can insert into multiple entries, right? So now you can see particular entry, how it got created. Name, department, skills is. Go to the second entry. IT department, Oracle, SQL. Right? SQL, Oracle. You can create a separate table and you can select that particular JSON serialization. data. And also you can insert new entry also into that. You can serialize this data in the form of JSON, and you can still create the data in the form of table and you can access it. So these are the 6 simple and powerful features got introduced into the Oracle 23 AI. From simple SQL syntax and schema level privilege to JSON duality and AI ready data handling, Oracle 23 AI is clearly focused on empowering developers. So these features make writing, testing and managing SQL code faster, smarter and a lot more intuitive. If you found this video helpful, hit a like, subscribe to DataSurface and stay tuned because next we will explore how Oracle 23 AI integrates the AI vector search for semantic queries. See you in the next one. Thank you.